your food come from? For a group of honor students, I'm sure that this seems like a fairly obvious question, like, we're not stupid. But you'd be surprised at how many people actually don't know the answer to that question. My name is Lexi Schaefer, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of introducing more agriculture awareness within the United States and within the world. So the first is a statistic from a national survey by the U.S. Farming and Ranching Alliance, and it says that 72% of consumers know little to nothing about farming or ranching. And I mean, you can do the math. That's a whopping 28% of people who actually really know things about agriculture, where our food comes from, and how it gets to our plate. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that 100% of Americans and people around the world encounter products of agriculture every single day. And I think that it's important for more than just 28% of consumers to know more about the process. So over agriculture as a whole, like the little bit of media that people are exposed to, for the most part, is negative. There's numerous common misconceptions that across the board, what people know if they do know about agriculture, it's hardly ever a positive thing. The first is a GMO, which stands for a genetically modified organism, and immediately when people hear that word, they think, oh, it's bad for me, it's harmful. But according to WebMD, there are no facts that prove that GMOs are harmful to people or animals, and they actually will provide more food, a wider variety of products, and it's less stressful on the environment. And then, I'm sure everyone's heard of the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA as it's more commonly known, and they are experts at portraying agriculturists to be cruel, and they're inhumane, they treat animals unfairly, especially like growing up, I showed livestock, and so I know that they're extreme opponents of this process. As you can see on the picture to the right, I don't know if you can see the words, but on the far right is a picture of a plastic animal that they said, it says something about a fur coat. Yeah, the rest of your fur coat. And it has a poor sheep, but really it's a plastic replica that they made to make the agriculture industry look bad. And then on the left is an actual lamb that's just been sheared for a show. As you can see, there's no harm whatsoever. And then the last is that people think, often feel like organic, you have to eat organic food. If you've been to Market Street, you walk down, organic everything. And people are under the impression that that's the best way to go, but there's really no health difference between organic or non-organic foods. And according to the Times and Democrat magazine, eating organic food would require that we produce 47% more food to meet that need. And just for numbers, that would require 1 billion more cattle, and that's just in the US alone. That would require almost every square inch of land to be used for raising cattle to meet that need if everything were organic. And then, so the problem that this faces with those common misconceptions is that it leads to Americans not wanting to support American agriculture. One example that I'm going to use is with Chipotle, and it's from an article that was published by the Beef magazine, and it's talking about how American ranchers are frustrated with Chipotle because they don't want to purchase American beef. Instead, they import beef from more than 8,000 miles away in international areas such as Australia. And the issues that this can face is that shipping these animals over a long distance can create higher risk of disease. It also, of course, increases our global footprint to do this shipping. And then, as you can see, this is from the Food Safety News, and it's the number of countries that were audited, foreign countries that were audited on their animal production. And this is from 2009 to 2012, and you can see how much the rates have been decreasing. So our use of foreign products is going up, while the inspection of their products is actually going down. And then I do understand that prices for American beef have gone up recently, and that's what American agriculturists accredit like Chipotle not wanting to buy their products. They're saying, oh, they just don't want to pay the price. But in my opinion, when you have those issues, it's worth it to support our homegrown products. And not supporting them will just create a domino effect by upping prices and decreasing our own food source. And then the last is a quote out of that article, and it's from an American agriculturist who wrote it, and it says, he, the co-CEO of Chipotle, insinuates that traditional beef is full of hormones and antibiotics, and sourcing beef that has been raised with integrity is incredibly difficult in the US, and this couldn't be farther from the truth. So like I said, these are the things that people are hearing about. They're not hearing about the positives of agriculture, what Americans are doing right, it's just the negative. And so it leads to opinions like the CEO of Chipotle that that American products are bad when it's not true at all. So, like I said, I feel like it's important for Americans to sustain our own food source. According to Seedstock magazine, the world population is projected to increase to 9 million in the next 40 years. And then according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, our food production will need to increase by 70% in order to avoid a famine. So the United States is the third most populous country in the world. And so if we're the third most populous country, it's important for us to produce our own food source, and we need to be contributing to the global production, not supporting other countries as much. So what do we do about it? The solution that I feel like is best is we need to educate the public as a whole, namely the youth, about where does your food come from. I feel like if they know how it gets to the table and the steps that they take, then they'll be more comfortable with sustaining our own food source. Ways that we could do this is introducing agriculture classes side by side with math and science to really teach about agriculture, and then we can that will improve our information through the school systems. Like this week is Ag Awareness Week, and I know that the Kasner College has been at the sub and doing things to spread awareness of agriculture. But I think that we need to do this year-round, not just for 1 week. And an example of how we can do that is My American Farm is an interactive website where kids could really, like I played on it earlier today, you can show how a cotton plant grows and do all kinds of things like that. So in closing, I think that everyone puts so much fuss about fighting hunger and things like that, and of course that's an important issue, but we can't fight hunger if we don't have the food to do it. So thank you.